to Mabel, I say. Oh God, I cannot do that voice. It destroys my vocal cords.
See, when I think of Mabel now, I think of like Gravity Falls.
Yeah.
I think I got it working.
Ah,
We're
hello.
still here, but we're still down to Stoker. So tonight I shall be the vampire.
No, he's on his
Whee!
he's on his way. He's running a teeny bit late.
And there he is.
Whee! What
There
is
he
a man?
is.
Oh, I guess I don't get to use my vampire voice after all.
It could be worse.
Dare I ask what your vampire voice sounds like?
I'm kind of curious myself.
Whee! I am not a vampire.
I love it.
Yeah, you don't get to use that.
Wait, who's Mythix is hosting?
Wait, can I use that?
No.
You know, I can't stop you. I'm legally not allowed to stop you.
What if every single daddy was a vampire and it just became like a Castlevania game?
Now, see, the ironic
that's the
thing
game.
is, what's his name is actually a Van Helsing, just going through his rebellious teenager question mark phase.
His rebellious teenager
His-
question.
His teen hundred years? I don't know.
1800s.
No, wait, his midlife crisis.
Don't you mean his on-life crisis?
I was gonna say afterlife.
Van Helsing.
Oh God, what's wrong with us?
Nah,
Anyway,
So many things.
yeah,
we embrace that millennial / Gen X, Gen S quad dadaism thing.
Gen X Sequa.
Well, now it's Dadaism.
Dream
Dada,
data, dream
whatever.
Dadaism.
See, that was the joke I was making.
Oh, all right. All right, I'm clicking continue.
And then everyone in the Twitch stream left.
Oh, we're live now.
Yes, we're alive.
Dude, I should
We've
zip up.
been
then.
live.
Okay.
So does that mean I shouldn't talk about that weird growth on my? Oh, sorry.
This is a safe space. Sharing is caring. To
All
some
right,
extent.
So,
Yeah. So,
you've
I've got this weird growth on my plant. It's like red and bulbous, and it tastes like a tomato. Weird that it would grow on a pepper plant, though.
I have multiple concerns.
You also have multiple messages. You've got one from Craig and one from that mysterious mustached person who is definitely not your daughter.
Dadmanda.
Oh, so it keeps the old message from
Yeah.
before. Okay.
Oh,
It's not can I write something to her? Oh. This is cute.
Why da? I never. We've known each other since the business school. How could you possibly confuse me for your amazing and talented and easy to buy things for daughter? Though, of course, I am flattered. You should buy Amanda more things.
Amanda, you know I didn't go to business school. I barely even managed to get my degree. Wait. No.
Wow.
I didn't say that. You never heard that.
This is gold.
I was a great student, I swear. I graduated at the top of my class because I worked hard and ate all my vegetables.
Totally holding on to this for later.
Let your guard down, you fool.
Wait.
Yeah.
Do you even remember what I majored in?
I decline the comment.
Cool.
This has been a good talk.
Yeah. All right. Who is Craig again?
Always.
I believe that was also Myth.
Okay.
He was actually. Oh, right, for voices.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, someone get the Pepto.
All right.
Well, someone
Rob-
take over Craig since I just did Amanda.
Yeah. Somebody be Craig. I'll do Craig. Hey, dude, I've got the runs. Oh, I've got just the thing. I'll head to the store and grab you a real chunky milkshake, cherry licorice, and a book of word jumbles I find helpful in strenuous times such as these. What? Wouldn't that make it worse? It's not for the diarrhea. Milkshakes are just comforting. Wait, why are we talking about this? By I've got the runs, I meant that I feel like running. You wanted to come with me to the gym?
Craig swears he's cool.
Yeah. Why do I feel less excited about that than getting you home remedies for diarrhea? Come on, man. It'll be fun. You know what? Sure. When are we doing this? There's 30 more minutes left in this Meat Hell marathon. Meat Hell. I'm outside right now. I'm
Staring into your window.
Yeah. I'm warming up. Okay.
Face pressed against the glass. I sip.
At least let me see if Betty gets away from the wolves in time to get her super sourdough cheesecake out of the oven.
What?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, you going on a run?
This should be horrible.
I can't believe you're
Hell
going to flirt with
yeah.
yourself, Jonas.
Oh my God, what?
It's like a me.
Oh my gosh.
The gym just installed these new virtual jogging treadmills. We'll feel like we're running outdoors. You can see other runners on your screen too. Let's try it out together. Other runners? Will I be able to keep up? Don't worry, we're here to cheer each other on. I'll be right here with you. Just get a rhythm going. Keep your heart rate up, but don't overexert yourself. You do great.
So like pace yourself, but
Oh my God.
Rule change. All dads running below 60 BPM will be executed.
It's like a real gym.
bye,
Oh.
Joseph.
Oh shit! I'm going a little.
Eggplant? What?
Your eggplant is out of control.
I don't know what that means.
And that feels like it'd be more of Craig's thing for getting a boner by running, but
It's not the running, it's the view.
but Craig's in front of you.
Exactly.
Maybe it's the windmill. He's just really excited by windmills. Really excited.
You know, I wouldn't.
Ah,
blame
yes. Craig Quixote.
No, Craig, no. Not so fast. That's definitely not a healthy BPM.
Sure it is. Well, actually, did I ever say how old Dada is? It's like 40s.
I just assumed Amanda's, 19, 20? So I just assumed he's in his 40s.
40s, 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm reasonably
Something like
certain
that.
I've gotten to somewhere over 100 playing Ring Fit, probably.
Yeah, I mean, you probably don't want to sustain that. Shit.
Sure we do. Okay, now you got me curious. Cardio, BPM.
I know the cardio range is like 110 or whatever, but I don't want him to like keel over or something.
I mean, your max heart rate's like 180. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just rest it.
I mean-
Keep going. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, there's Brian over there. That's great.
I did a little bit of research. It is possible to kill Dada in this game.
Okay, yeah, we're just gonna.
You're kidding.
I don't know about this specific game, but I didn't do a whole lot of in-depth research onto the different paths, but there are paths, there are choices you can make that can kill you in this game.
All right, we're just gonna
How
keep
many
it.
involve Grunge Dad?
I love that the waterfall is like sweat emojis.
Like I said, I don't know the specifics. I just know that it's possible.
We're just gonna.
See, I'm calling it. It's the cafeteria nachos to the mall. That's what's going to kill you.
Oh God.
I mean, you eat a bunch of those, and yeah, that will probably wind up doing you in after a while.
I propose a new goal for this playthrough. Kill Dada as fast as possible.
Oh no.
Ah, yes, the death percent speed run.
What about Amanda though?
She's fine. She's reached the age of majority.
Oh my
She'll
God.
probably catch
The
some of my
age of
favorite thoughts.
majority.
Right? That's when
Like
a
a-
kid can theoretically live on their own
This is
legally.
like a 19th century argument.
She's 14. She'll be fine.
She's old enough to lead the tribe. Yeah.
I tell you this, when my mother was 13, she gave birth to me, and it was perfectly fine. Except for when her hips exploded. This is Victorian times, so we don't care unless you're like a gothic author or something.
Nice, Darson. Oh, finally, it's over with.
There's a cake
Wait.
at the end.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's not good for running. Just chow down. Oh, wow.
Hey, all
That was
right.
fantastic.
Wow, I didn't think I did that good. Okay.
Damn, way to go.
Craig, suddenly I am rock hard for you.
Yeah.
Someone could run better than me?
Way to go.
And yes, ahoy hoy to you too, Warbird.
Well, that was fun. Let's see.
Now who?
I need someone laid
I
back
mean-
after that. Someone
I
really
mean,
mellow.
Damien seems pretty laid back.
All
Saying
right.
he seems pretty chill. I
Hey.
mean,
Done
Damien seems kind of extra, but yeah, in that
Yeah,
laid back
mean-
sense.
Hey, if we're talking about the remaining dads, probably I would say Hugo seems like he'd, at least in terms of activities, be the most chill.
So what I'm getting here, Matt, I honestly think is going to be the most chill. Like the man just
Oh, yeah.
like I don't think his blood pressure has ever gone above 10.
Ironic,
Brian
we're
is
working at
going to
coffee
make you
place.
aggressive like the whole time. Like
Yeah.
you're just going to be at his fucking throat. Robert will
alpha
kill
males.
you for fun.
Say, but we already did Matt's actually.
yeah, we did
It's
one
true.
with Matt.
It's true.
Yep.
So we haven't done the date. We haven't done the date with Brian. We haven't done with Joseph, Hugo, or Damien.
Damien
Absolute
Damien
zephyr.
is super extra and will raise your heart level, but I think in a nice way. Hugo will give you a book report for fun. And Joseph will try to recruit you into his nano machine soldier
Yeah.
army
Yes.
or his church, which is the same thing.
I think I'm gonna go with Hugo.
Wait a-
Let's see.
His turn-ons are muscles. Good thing you just ran.
Oh man.
Practice makes permanent.
I navigate to Hugo's dadbook page and type out a message. Hey, Hugo.
Sure, it has a lot of. Oops, sorry.
Great seeing you at the barbecue. Want to hang out sometime? I wait for a few minutes before the computer dings.
OMG, like, hi, you're...
Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
Uh-oh.
Wait, what?
Hey, Hugo's gonna be the nice laid back one, right?
Not with his son.
All right.
Not with his son and like 20 other annoying screaming children.
I think yeah. I think about it for a moment. Man, that's a lot of screaming kids that I'd be accountable for. And they're in middle school, arguably the worst age to be.
He ain't wrong.
Amanda silently trudges into the kitchen and pours herself a bowl of cereal. Morning, Amanda.
Morning, Pops.
Hey, how was middle school for you?
Ugh, bad. But nobody likes middle school. It's 3 years of bad acne, crying, and being just generally terrible. Everyone sucks. No self-awareness. It's just a bunch of hormonal teenagers locked in a gross old building for 40 hours a week, doing long divisions and starting fights over, I don't know, pizza day? Top 40s pops? Pop. Middle schoolers should be avoided at all costs.
This child speaks nothing but the truth.
What was your middle school experience like? Right?
I didn't like it. I had my first crush in middle school, and I'm still bitter about it. Alexis Stuggs, you hurt me, and I'll never forget.
What'd she do to you?
I stare off into middle distance, I stare off into middle school, remembering the 24 hours that we dated and the 3 times we held hands between class periods. Then I remember the bitter betrayal, her leaving me for Arnold Birmingham, him making me eat dirt in front of her. Yeah, that's all sounds about right. I don't want to talk about it.
Arnold
See?
Burlington Coat Factory?
Yeah.
Burlington.
Middle schoolers are reprehensible. Wait, why are you asking me about middle school?
Oh, Mr. Vega requested my help to chaperone his middle school class to the aquarium. Just wanted to know what I was in for.
Get to the aquarium? Are you kidding me? The last field trip I got to go on was the clam chowder factory. They didn't even give us clam chowder. They gave us square pizza at a clam chowder factory.
Those bastards.
Oh, is that why you won't eat clam chowder anymore?
No. It's because Bobby Willingham threw up into one of the vats of clam chowder, and I'm the only one who saw it happen.
Ew.
It haunts me.
Ooh.
Right. Let's leave that story firmly in the past.
Anyway, you should do it. Mr. Viga sounds like he could use the help. Plus, you get to hang out with cool fish.
There are pretty cool fish in aquariums, it's true.
I mean, I get kind of weird about aquariums. The ocean makes me nervous.
110% valid, that.
Yeah.
What? Are you worried that a whale's gonna worried that a whale's gonna pop out of the touch tank and swallow you whole?
Yes.
Don't you put fear in my heart.
Do they have penguins there?
Yes, they have penguins there.
Then it's settled. Penguins outweigh the fear of the ocean.
True.
I like her style.
I sit back down at the computer and let Hugo know that I'm available. He tells me to meet him at the aquarium and gives me the address. I grab my keys and kiss a man on the forehead before I head out.
But, so which penguins? We got anime Batman penguin, Joe Pesci penguin.
Macaroni
That's a-
penguins, man.
Wait,
Wasn't Joe
combination.
Pesci.
Joe Pesci was a penguin?
No, I was thinking of, gosh, what's the little gremlin man?
The,
Are
what?
you thinking of Danny DeVito?
Thank you. In my mind, they're both little gremlin men actors.
Now I want to see Joe Pesci as the penguin.
I do want to see a Joe. Like, I don't want to see like Joe Pesci as like Batman penguin. I want to see Joe Pesci as a penguin.
Yeah.
Like Happy Feet.
Well,
Actual
you know, Disney's going to do that whole live-action adaptation of the Penguin and the Pebble. So if you write in enough, maybe, just maybe, you'll get your wish.
He's all like, yeah, I'm a cute little penguin, all right? I'm an adorable little penguin. If you don't like it, fuck off.
And then Macaulay Culkin drops a brick on his head.
God, Macaulay Culkin's like 40 now.
Yup.
Anyway,
Hey, Joseph. Sorry, don't Darcy. Whatever your name is. Disney didn't do Pebble and the Penguin.
He's
That
right.
was distributed by MGM.
Yeah, he's right,
It's
Darcy.
okay. Disney will own the rights to it in a year or two anyway.
I think Disney actually
bought
owned-
MGM.
But it was distributed internationally by Warner Brothers.
And there was that rumor a few weeks back that Disney was going to buy Warner Brothers. I don't think it'll ever go anywhere.
God. Then you could have like Space Jam Kingdom Hearts. Oh.
But that's
Hey,
basically
remember
what
Dream
Space Jam
Daddy?
2 was. But yeah,
Remember Dream Daddy?
no, not really.
That time that penguins completely derailed a Dream Daddy stream.
That time
Oh.
when Disney bought Dream Daddy.
I arrive at the aquarium. To find that the school buses have beaten me there. Probably because I stood around talking about penguins. Preteens huddle around their teachers in small groups, yelling at each other and goofing off. Every teacher looks like they're at their wits' end. I'll bet you Brian's here.
Fucking
Hugo jogs up to me looking frazzled. Yeah, he looks so frazzled.
This man is frazzled.
Who is Hugo?
Pretty sure that was Rage.
Yep. Memphis has been barking at me to do Morgan Freeman, so I guess I'm gonna do that. I'm so glad you're here.
Hugo!
I don't know.
It's been a debacle.
Rich?
Oh, Rage, I think we lost you.
Oh shit.
You there?
Wait, you're back.
Oh, you're good. Okay.
All it took was the power of swearing.
Continue,
I'm
please.
sure you know this is the case with all middle schoolers.
I lived through Amanda at 12. I'm all too familiar.
Great. Well, it's you and me chaperoning a group of 10 kids. They're over here.
Hugo walks me over to a gaggle of preteens who are all sitting on the ground playing with their phones. They're not kicking each other like some of the other groups, so we're off to a good start.
Can you guys please put your phones away?
All of the kids look up for a moment to stare at Hugo. They then go back to texting.
Accurate.
We all text down here, Mr. Vega.
too quiet. Ththese guys are up to something. I can feel it.
Calling in the air tonight.
Oh Lord.
There's no way. They're too busy thinking about not getting food stuck in their braces to pull any stunts. It's middle school, after all.
We'll see.
Penguins are gonna get stolen today. I just know it.
The glasses start filing into the aquarium, and Hugo hands out massive stapled packets of paper to each kid.
These are due at the end of the field trip. Yes, this will be for a grade. No, you cannot borrow a pencil.
The kids collectively groan and grab the sheets from Hugo. What's in the packet?
Honestly, it's just busy work so that teachers can have moments of reprieve. I think this one of our questions asked him to sit quietly for 10 minutes to think about the Great Barrier Reef.
Teacher hacks. I like that. Wait, I thought
Ever
you
just sit and think about the Great Barrier Reef?
constantly. Wait, I thought you were an English teacher. What does the aquarium have to do with books?
We just did a unit on the old man at the sea. Nothing quite like introducing kids to the future, futile perseverance of the human spirit by making stingrays. What the fuck?
Nice.
Iron Stingray's got rough backs and world's rough. Oh,
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
This guy's got drama. It gives us time to check out some of the exhibits as well. Come on, they have a phenomenal selection of tropical fish.
While the kids sit on the floor and pretend to do their assignments while they text, Hugo and I wander to a large tank filled with brightly colored fish. Hugo points to a brown and white fish with long spines.
That right there, that's a lionfish. Did you know that their stomachs can expand up to 30 times in size?
Whoa.
Ew, lionfish.
Hell, I didn't even know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
All I know about them is they are literally the worst.
Yeah.
Their spines are venomous too.
Oh.
Nature is hardcore. I would probably say nature is horrifying, but yeah.
And also true.
You think that's bad? Take a look at this one over here.
Yes.
Hugo points to a spiny, grumpy-looking fish hanging out near the bottom of the tank.
That's a stonefish. The most venomous fish in the world.
Oh, fuck those guys.
Okay.
And they just, keep it here?
Oh,
You know,
they're
for
really
fun.
harmless as long as you don't step on them.
What happens if you step on them?
Tissue necrosis.
Oh, baby.
You really know how to sweet talk a fella.
Cool.
Nature is wild.
Man, Hugo seems to know a lot about fish. I feel the overwhelming need to impress him. Hey,
Take off his human mask and reveal the merman underneath.
yeah. Hey, see that fish over there?
That one?
Yeah, that's the...
Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up.
One
That's
of
the...
Humphead wrasse. Humphead wrasse.
Okay, that's the humphead wrasse.
Oh yeah.
Did you know that? Fish are all neurotic. This is the only species of fish known to develop clinical depression.
Shit.
Wait, are you serious?
Absolutely not. I'm playing for the gag here.
Oh.
Good
Hey!
I too like falsifying information and data.
We lead the kids to... We lead the kids to another room. I figured I couldn't bullshit them. Sharks, sea turtles, eels, and other marine life swim around in the massive floor-to-ceiling aquarium. The kids begin trying to take selfies with the sharks. Hugo leaves my side to separate two kids who started fighting over a Capri Sun. I walk around the room, reading the tiny little blurbs about different fish swimming inside of the enclosure. After a while, I look around and see Hugo again. He's gazing up at the aquarium in childlike wonder. The ripples in the water cast blue, moving shadows across his face. For someone surrounded by angry hormonal preteens, he looks completely peaceful. He looks really cute in this light. I hope he doesn't notice me staring. Teehee.
Oh, he's gonna notice.
Wow.
Don't worry, Zelda.
I
You
walk.
said Impa, right?
I walk over to join him.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Oh
Damn. That's,
well,
I mean, if you want to increase his affection, probably gonna be number 2 or number 3.
yeah, I'm gonna do. A great many mysteries lie in the ocean. It's truly fascinating to be able to observe it in a setting such as this.
That's a little boring. Oh shit, he loves
wow,
boring.
Yeah, no, we love that.
I mean, he is an English teacher.
We stand.
Eggplant flying out of that one.
we stand together for a moment, admiring the wonders of marine life. We eventually make our way to the touch tank, which seems to be the only thing the kids are actually interested in. The tank is filled with a variety of horseshoe crabs, sea urchins, stingrays, and small fish.
That's why I touched an urchin.
Yeah, right. I stand around the edges of the tank and keep a wary distance from the sea life. Who knows what kind of nefarious plans these horseshoe crabs have for my well-moistured hands? Wise man.
They got blue blood.
Hugo rolls up his sleeve and sticks his hand in the water. Don't you want to... Oh, sorry.
Don't you want to pet some... Yeah, don't you want to pet some rays, Dada?
Oh,
That's a euphemism, right?
good. Oh, I think I'm good. I don't really... I think I should just stay over here and admire them from respectable distances. This is my basic attitude towards sea life.
Yeah.
Come on, it'll be fun and informative.
Actually, I'd probably pet a sea otter if they'd let you.
Don't make fun of me, but I'm scared to touch them. I get weird when there's no glass separating
The
us.
aquarium or the otter?
I don't know what any of those things are, but I get the feeling they will probably bite me in my delicious hands if given the chance.
This character really is you, Jonas.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times has Jonas referred to his hands as delicious, though?
Yeah. Well.
I mean, more than you would expect.
Yeah.
Nothing in this tank can hurt you. The stingrays have had their bobs removed. The horseshoe crabs only eat little clams, and the anemones are perfectly safe to touch.
Against my better judgment, I approach the tank. Slowly dipping my hand into the cold water, I touch a stingray as it glides past me.
See? Not so bad.
And then Dada immediately goes to anaphylactic shock.
It feels like fun, slimy leather.
Red
Things
leather,
get a lot
yellow
less
leather.
Come on,
Red
about
leather,
to-
yellow
right.
leather.
God.
Oh, God.
Red leather, dead leather.
Dead
All
leather.
in ambulance
That's
leather.
the knee flap flaps.
Oh, the flap flaps.
I dive my hand back into the touch tank with a renewed vigor for ocean life. I poke at some urchins and feel the hard carapace of a horseshoe crab. My hand brushes against Hugo's as we reach for the same anemone. I pull I pull away blushing. Hugo smiles at me.
Oh, baby, you're in it now.
You're supposed to be touching the fish.
Oh!
Sorry, I just get a little carried away
Wait. That girl over there looks suspicious.
Why is that?
Are backpacks usually that wet? Hold on.
Oh, no.
He's trying to steal a hermit crab for its blood.
Susan! Susan, get back here.
Get back here.
Hugo runs after a middle schooler and catches her before she can make it to the exit.
Want to tell me what's in the bag?
What's in the bag?
Yeah.
Show me.
Textbooks.
Oh, Jesus
I
Christ.
don't want to tell me what's really in the bag.
Susan won't budge. I walk over to Hugo and the girl. I think he might need a bad cop. Look, kid. Jesus.
You
She fucked it. That's an easy fuck to tell.
I'm not afraid to hit a child.
Jesus Christ.
Really gonna impress the teacher there.
God.
Actually, it might.
Hugo's giving you the face of he better not say I'm not afraid to hit a child.
You know,
I mean, he teaches middle school, so
I would love to see his reaction to that, but I'm just gonna play it safe.
should have made a save state.
I was going to say you could have saved.
Whatever it is, it goes back into the touch tank now. You're not a teacher. You can't tell me what to do. I'm a little kid.
Yes, well, I am. Can you please put the bag down?
Next time, we won't say please. Susan glares at Hugo for a moment before dropping her book bag on the floor. It lands with a wet slap.
Oh no, that's bad.
We stare at it for a moment before it begins to move.
$5 says it's an octopus.
God.
Oh, a horseshoe crab.
Poor baby.
Hugo leans down and unzips the backpack. A horseshoe crab frantically scuttles out and across the floor. An employee swoops in, scoops it up, and places it back into the tank. Who would do that?
Someone who wants
You
to
wouldn't download a crab.
I would.
She gives us a disapproving look. That's just like, I mean, come on.
How dare you not let me be a total sociopath?
Jesus, Susan, what was your plan? I was trying to free him. To where? Outside where he was going to die?
Susan, go back to your group. We'll discuss this later.
Yeah, and hands where we can see him. Susan sulks off, leaving me alone with Hugo. He gives me a pat on the shoulder.
Middle schoolers have sticky hands. I doubt that's the first time that's happened here.
Or the last. In the next room, we see a variety of smaller tanks. Sea urchins, tiny fish, and a rainbow of beautiful underwater plant life surrounds us.
Look over here.
Hugo points to some seahorses gathered at the bottom of a tank. One of them is in the middle of giving birth.
Oh, he's a daddy.
That's actually the male
He's a dream
seahorse.
daddy.
Sort of takes the fatherhood to a new level, doesn't it? Hey kids, come check this out. There's a male seahorse giving birth.
A low murmur from the students. They just jump back on their phones.
Fun fact, male seahorses can give birth and then get pregnant in the same day.
Man, we thought we had it hard.
I wonder if they have to deal with the kids' awkward teenage years too, all however many thousand of them.
You seem to know a lot about marine life, Hugo.
It's not really my specialty, but I do make a point to learn as much as possible when I can. I think that learning shouldn't end when you leave school. We should challenge ourselves to find out more about things we don't understand in our everyday lives.
You know, I like his attitude, but man bun.
You say that like
Perhaps
it's a
you're
bad
letting your
thing.
anti-man bun prejudice go too far.
Jonas, how could you?
Because if you stop learning, I don't think you'll ever be able to grow or change as a person.
I don't think I'll ever be able to grow a man bun. Good point.
You just gotta learn to appreciate man buns.
But I still don't trust the ocean.
We'll get there.
Never trust the ocean.
Yeah. We finally make our
Horrifying void.
we finally make our way over to the my favorite part of the tour, the Arctic exhibit. Do we get to see the penguins?
Yes, we get to see the penguins.
Hell
Hell
yes.
yes.
Oh,
My exact feeling about penguins. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Look at them penguin-ass penguins.
our group of kids run around the
Yeah.
exhibits. They won't stop tapping on the glass of the puffin enclosure, trying to get their attention. Warbird, I would never grow up long enough to have a man bun. I'm strictly like a short-haired dude.
Yeah,
I
he
will.
hasn't.
I will ship you a long hair wig just so we can man bun you.
Oh no! All right, well it has
Like
to be.
we need to make this some. We need to make this some sort of stream goal at this point.
Okay, but it
Like,
has
by the end of Dream Daddy, we need to get you in a man bun.
it has to be like it needs to be like blonde or something, like a blonde,
Yes.
because yeah,
Gosh.
perfect.
I have a hard time even imagining this.
All right, if I get 10,000 subscriptions, I'll wear a man bun.
You heard it here, folks.
Go, go.
Tell your
let
friends, tell your
daddies
enemies.
Just be dreams.
Also, if I get 10,000 subscriptions, I'll probably have enough to like live off of Twitch. But anyway,
You heard it here, folks. Pay this man to make fun hair decisions.
for at least a few moments, teachers, chaperones, and students alike seem to be having a great time. What was I so worried about? This isn't too bad. What? Hugo suddenly grabs my arm.
Run. Oh my god, there's a student in the penguin enclosure.
Wait, just kidding. It's very bad. Is it one of ours?
It most certainly is. Molly Henderson, Susan's friend.
No.
I look over to the penguins and see a determined-looking kid crouching behind a rock. She's hiding just out of sight of one of the employees. Over on the side of the enclosure, I see the door to the exhibit ajar. Was it unlocked this whole time? We gotta stop her before the staff season bans our school for life. Hugo looks around.
I'll create a distraction.
Hugo runs towards the puffin exhibit and addresses the entire room.
Everybody, everybody, everybody. I have an announcement.
The whole room turns towards Hugo.
You're all getting an F. Here's a few facts I bet you didn't know about penguins.
Everybody just stares at Hugo, confused. Well, this is my shot. I run into the enclosure and am greeted by a cold blast of air. Psst, hey. The girl whips around to look at me. Her nose is pink from the cold. You can't be in here. Must be Molly.
You know what? I'll be Molly.
Okay.
Yes.
Neither can you!
I try to walk over to the girl, but the ground is so icy that I just end up slipping. I catch myself before I hit the ground, but the girl still laughs at me.
You're a grown-up, and grown-ups are dumb, and you nearly broke your coccyx, which is a term I learned in biology just last week. And it's
Did you learn?
funny because it sounds like cock.
At least you learned something.
For once. Contrary to popular belief, penguins are birds. Birds that are traditionally known to fly, but penguins cannot.
So, oh, sorry.
So I can understand some confusion when they were discussing the birdness of penguins.
The crowd is still somehow.
Terrible birdness of penguins.
The crowd is still somehow enraptured.
Did you know Disney tried to buy penguins?
Yeah. Kid,
Tried to acquire 'em.
what are you even doing?
I'm letting the penguins go! They deserve freedom! Freedom!
Where are they even going to go?
They're gonna live in my closet! Live free in my closet!
It's Elmira. Look, I just don't have time to argue about this. We gotta get out of here.
Not until I save a penguin! Just one! Fuck all the others!
Yeah.
Little known fact about penguins is that they only live in cold climates.
Objection! That's actually not true.
Yeah.
Because there's a species that lives on the Galapagos Islands. They
Yeah.
only
Exactly.
live in the southern hemisphere.
Right.
Dun dun dun.
Take that, penguins.
Maybe
Yeah.
Hugo's not as smart as he thinks he is. Oh god, I'm turning into Joseph again.
Oh no, your horrible inferior genes are trying to corrupt my speech. With some exceptions, so they don't all live in cold climates if you're splitting hairs here.
They all live in cold
Like he
climates,
knew.
The game
except
heard
for the
you.
ones that don't.
Did I mention that they don't fly? Neither does this entire presentation. It doesn't fly.
Yeah. The crowd is starting to lose interest. I'm running out of time. All right, I gotta lay down the law.
Put it
You
down.
can always bribe her.
I prepare to raise my voice at Molly and then hesitate. Is it weird for me to raise my voice at a stranger's kid? Like it's a parenting faux pas or something?
Money! Give me money!
Hey, Gollum.
I will give you $20 right now if you leave with me.
Oh,
Molly thinks for a second.
Okay. Well, gives it to us right now.
This took a
Why
turn.
did I say?
I reach into my pocket and pull out a ring. Pull out everything I have, examining each bill. Okay, well, I have 12 and some change. Here, also, there's a button here. Is that enough?
What's he got in his pocket? Give us the button, precious.
Pay me the other 8 later and we have a deal.
Oh, now you're normal again. Fine. Jeez.
Oh, yeah, money. Money buys something, I don't know, like 13.
We're gonna have to block these birds.
We moved to shake on our arrangement before I suddenly realized there's a wave of penguins on their way out of the enclosure. We're going to have to block these birds. There should have been a mini game.
Wave babies.
This is going to be a mini game,
I
Jonas.
shouldn't have said it.
Oh, there it is.
Oh!
I should
Is this
not-
kind of like the Club Penguin style?
Oh God, that seems a bit.
Rocket powered hands.
You murdered that penguin.
You murdered that birder.
I've always wanted to slap penguins.
Why are they
That
purple?
sounds like a
though?
personal issue to me, Jonas.
Get out of my way, losers.
This man will slap the penguin.
Or do you just spam the slappies?
How did it escape?
What?
Hey, the stream paused.
Yeah, I
There
know.
we go. Weird question. Was anyone else expecting this from Dream Daddy?
I would have to say
No,
no.
this is amazing.
How do I stop these little shits?
Noises.
Okay, seriously, like... All right, here, money.
Bribe that team.
Ah,
Uh-oh. It went dark.
I know, I'm trying to...
Got it,
Yay!
got it.
None of this would have happened if you'd gone on a date with me.
Yeah, instead you'd have to play level 1 of Castlevania or something.
I was
probably.
just thinking that. Hey, bribery works.
Hey.
Bribery's
Could've been
great.
worse.
Remember,
Wait, so did you bribe the kid or did you bribe the penguins? Because they're the ones with the dollar bills in their beaks.
yes. Phew. Glad that's over. Just in time, too. Looks like Hugo's wrapping up his diversionary penguin speech.
And that's why I think penguins are one of the best animals in the world.
Aw.
A few people in the audience clap out of a sense of duty. Everybody starts dispersing. Hugo spots us from across the way and runs over.
Molly, what were you doing in there?
Molly.
Yes, Molly.
Molly.
What were you, Molly, doing in there?
Stoker?
Molly.
Did we lose Stoker?
Oh,
shit,
that's
he
right.
did.
Shoot. I forgot that this was me.
I was liberating animals, Mr. Vega.
You realize that penguins can only survive in Arctic temperatures, right? You would have had a dead penguin on your hand.
I would have had dinner on my hands. Well, it's the thought that counts, right? Right?
No,
Please
Molly.
don't send me to jail.
No, Molly, it wasn't. Molly turns to me.
Yeah, well, you still owe me $8, you deadbeat.
What?
Just, I'll pay you later, kid. Molly runs off towards Susan, I suppose, so they can compare animal thief notes.
You better pay me later, or else I'll send my buddies to break your kneecaps.
Oh my.
You're not off the hook, Molly. Did you just bribe a child?
You know, I tried to... Okay.
I bribed a child.
You
The
need
last
to
one's
say
so
that
fun.
one.
Listen, man, we've all done dark things in our lives. I'm not the young, bright-eyed youth I used to be. That person believes in a world where you wouldn't have to bribe children to save a penguin. The me today knows different. I only wish I could go back.
Not gonna lie, I read that as young, breaded man.
Let's just get through the day and get out of here.
Would it have been better if I just been honest with him? I mean, come on.
Always be honest.
I mean, you were honest.
Yeah, I mean,
A different kind of honest.
But you made excuses for your honesty.
well, I mean, it was.
It was a fun line.
And
It
to
was
be fair,
funny.
you did already get him to explode in eggplants earlier, so hey.
That's true.
With the day finally coming to a close, I've always wanted to make a guy explode in eggplants. The whole field trip is
Whoa!
ushered through the gift shop when we make our way back out to the school buses. As we leave the aquarium and the kids load onto the buses, Hugo pulls me aside.
Hey, Dada, thank you so much for helping out today. You are a lifesaver.
It was no problem. It was actually kind of fun. Yeah, it was fun going out there and slapping penguins around.
Hell yeah.
Let me take you out next time to make it up to you. You like cheese boards?
I love cheese boards.
Great. Well, I gotta go make sure the kids don't steal anything else. I'll see you around.
I walk inside to find the house empty. Huh. I wonder where the panda's at. Before I know it, Amanda
Trying to
pops
get through
in.
the trash.
No!
Probably biting something.
Before I know it, Amanda pops in through the front door. What you up to tonight?
Just doing some homework. How was the aquarium?
It was an adventure. Some kid tried to steal a penguin.
We've all been there. I bit a penguin once.
Nice. I had to run in and grab her before any of the employees saw.
Oh, you got to go in the penguin enclosure? Did you steal a penguin for us?
Amanda, no penguins were stolen thanks to the valiant efforts of myself and Mr. Vega. It was nice getting to spend some time with Hugo, though.
Surprised he helped complete a covert up. He's usually kind of
Kind of a what?
kind of a stick in the mud.
He's actually pretty cool. I had a good time with him. All right, too much adventure for me today. I'm going to go rest my eyes.
You mean take a nap?
There's a difference. You'll learn when you become a father.
Oh,
Yay. That's right.
hey!
Let's find out your ranking.
Mustache?
Not a lot of mustache points.
Well, I mean,
Oh, star.
all right.
But you did get an A ranking, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
Better than our coffee friends did, at least. That was, what, a C?
I'm just trying. I'm an introvert, okay? I'm just trying to get through this.
I think you found your man.
Moving.
Well, I don't know.
I think you
what?
found the daddy for you.
I don't
Watch
know.
I don't know. I
Let's
think
drink
you
with
need to
Grunge
still.
Dad.
I think you need to play the field a little bit more. You know,
think so?
Maybe go find someone to go see a nice Dracula movie with, or
Oh, you mean Joseph?
Fine.
What do you mean a nice Dracula movie? Those don't exist.
What about Dracula 2000?
You know what? I haven't seen it. Wait, hold on. I can trigger him a bit more. I only watch good movies.
What was that recent one they did? The
Dracula Untold.
that's the one.
God, it's like this is how to make Stoker do noises like he has a squirrel in his pants or something.
He is a squirrel in his pants
That's
right
true.
now.
Yeah. Squeak. Okay, let's do Damien.
Oh no, isn't this just rewarding him for bad behavior, Jonas?
Pretty much. But on the other hand, we get it over with. Damien.
But we are down $20.
damn,
We're never gonna talk to Damien again.
you monsters.
Damien
knows?
seemed Damien seemed really interesting. A little odd, but interesting. I think I should hang out with him to get to know him a little better. I navigate. Does the dog actually have a job?
Nobody has jobs, Jonas.
Yeah, that's true.
Parenting.
I need.
Yep, dadding is the only full-time job that you something.
He's just trying to be a sugar borrower. Don't judge him.
Oh God.
He's looking for a daddy who can provide.
I navigate to Damien's dad book page and type out a message. Hey, dude, you seem cool. We should hang out sometime. I sit there for a minute before I see that Damien's typing. But then he keeps typing. And typing. Man, is this guy writing a novel? I leave the computer to make some coffee. And he's still typing. I sip my coffee and the computer finally dings.
Dada, I must confess my excitement to be receiving your kind letter, for as you see, I do find myself available to enjoy your company. I must ask your forgiveness, however, as I believe our first meeting did not paint me in as gentlemanly a manner as I would have liked. I would be highly flattered to enjoy your companionship at my residence for an afternoon tea and a stroll around my garden. You know, should it please you. Till then, do. Yours humbled, D. Bloodmarch.
I call dibs on the Igor Butler character that's probably going to show up.
Damn.
Yeah. I stare at the screen and reread the letter several more times. Hey, Amanda? Can you help me with something?
Ugh.
Would
That
anyone
is-
like to take a shot at Amanda? I've had her for a minute.
Dad, for the last time, I'm not popping your back pimples.
No. Can you interpret this for me?
I'm not interpreting your back pimples either. I don't care if it's a treasure map.
The latest update to phrenology.
I turn the computer to Amanda and she squints at Damien's message. I just don't understand NetSpeak. Like, is this how you kids communicate with each other now?
Totally. This is the new hot thing. See, Dad, kids got over saying lol and lamau or whatever and decided that what they need to do is bring it back to the 1800s.
Warbird, I don't think Dada is dumb so much as just very, very early Gen X.
Mm-hmm. He's out of touch.
Yeah.
So what you
A
saying
himbo,
is he's
if
a
you
big
will.
old dummy dumb.
He's a himbo.
So what do I do?
Where's your pen and quill?
What?
Did you forget to unpack the pen and quill? Damn. How will we address the nobleman in regards to your upcoming debutante?
Okay, now I know you're messing with me.
Father, without a proper chaperone, you'll never end up with a suitor worthy of our land.
Mr. Wazowski, you didn't finish your paperwork.
Or our dowry.
I'm watching you, Wazowski.
Always watching you.
Or our Monsters Inc. Incorporated shares.
So you read Pride and Prejudice for school one time, and now you're reciting things you know about it back to me, aren't you?
Oh, Mr. Darcy.
Oh, Mr. Darson.
No, I am not a Byronic hero. Please do not make me out to be one. Like the first 5 pages. Then I read a review of the movie. Still gotta be, though. Your text dollars at work.
Great. So what do I say to Damien?
I got this.
Amanda reaches over me and types on the keyboard.
Amanda, you gotta get out of my lucky strikes.
Sure thing, dude. Regards, Dada.
Amanda hits send and smiles at me. Well, I suppose that's that. I make the short walk over to Damien's house.
Look at his gargoyles.
They even have little belly buttons. I love them.
You
Look at
can't
little
see it.
faces.
You can't see it. I'm making grabby hands at the screen right now.
Yeah, the gargoyles
want
kind of look
this
a little
house.
constipated.
I want this house.
Well, I guess you can't really call it a house. It's more of a manor, estate. The Gothic architecture looms over the other homes in the cul-de-sac. I walk past a couple of gargoyles guarding the front door and look around for a doorbell. There doesn't seem to be one. I pull the large, ornately carved bat's head door knocker back, and a hollow sound echoes throughout the house as I strike it against the door. I wait several moments before the door slowly creaks open.
Come on, Igor, Igor, Igor.
It's a little creepy, but I enter the home and take a few steps into the foyer, noting the oil portraits of whom I assume are dead relatives hanging on the wall. As I'm admiring them,
Dog.
the front door slams shut behind me.
There's a lot
Hello?
of skulls.
Silence. An oil lamp in the corner flickers dimly, casting ominous shadows against the wall. Why do I feel like all the people in these paintings are staring straight at me? Why is it so cold in here? Where's Damien?
Da-da! Pleasure to have you in my home.
I look up and see Damien standing at the top of a majestic staircase with a walking candle holder. What's with the door slamming shut?
Oh, sorry, there was a draft.
And the door creaking open when I knocked.
I accidentally left the door unlocked.
And the creepy oil paintings?
I like oil paintings.
Aww.
Right.
Right. This place is definitely not haunted.
I'm getting those vibes right now.
Please, let me show you around.
Hey, sir, is it time to take him to the blood? Creepy.
No, Igor, you impetuous young boy.
Oh,
Just sweet smile.
Okay. Damien leads me around his house, showcasing his parlor, sitting room, auxiliary sitting room, and the parlor again for some reason.
It's the duplicate parlor. This is one of the older What?
set up like a freaking clue house.
I mean, again, ideal. This is one of the older homes on the block, yes, but nowhere near as old as the architecture might suggest.
What, the 60s?
Through extensive renovations, I have been able to craft a residence that is both historically accurate to the Victorian period and equipped with the amenities of any modern dwelling, such as the wireless fireless.
We walk past a door covered in bumper stickers, caution tape, and a black parade poster. Do they listen to My Chemical Romance in the Victorian era?
That's my son's room. You know how the rebellious teenage years are. Onward, onward, there's more to see.
We reach a door at the end of the hall that Damien opens with a flourish.
Usually I open them with doorknobs.
Oh.
And
Ooh.
this is the library.
Sunlight streams in from floor-to-ceiling arched windows. The walls are lined with packed bookshelves, and even more books are scattered over the period-appropriate furniture. Damien is clearly really proud of this room.
Those windows aren't arched. Just saying.
Pick up a book.
You know, Dada, in the Victorian era, there was some controversy surrounding reading. Many people thought the more tawdry novels would encourage youths into a life of crime and would cause too much of a distraction from work and school.
I pull out a book at random and examine the worn cover. Opening it, I turn to a random page and read aloud. Naruto struggled against the chains that Sasuke had bound him with. Shirtless and out of breath. Wow. Shirtless and out of breath, he looked up at Sasuke. Sasuke smirked, unbuttoning his ninja pants.
Believe it, Naruto.
Okay, I think that's enough. Oh,
I think they're trying to be a massive weeb or something.
I have many questions.
how
He
did
just
that get
he just
there?
printed out his entire AO3 library and bound it in books.
I mean, what else is an AO3 library for?
I think you're
Dang,
quite
I got
ready
new
for
light
the
bulbs.
Narusuke material yet.
God. Damien snaps the book shut and puts it back onto the shelf.
That's a rare book from my private collection.
Yes, the
Very.
private one.
Very
Yeah.
private collection.
Why
Quite rare.
don't we look at the butterflies? I walk up to the glass display of pinned bugs on the wall. It's pretty impressive. Nice bugs.
I pinned them all myself. Maybe I could show you how sometime.
When I pin you,
Oh, I was hoping you'd pin me.
yeah. I'm
I
concerned.
need an adult.
I'm concerned I would stick the pin right through my finger.
Oh, well, that too can be rather invigorating.
God.
The Pinner's Gambit.
Ah, the Pinner's Gambit.
Is that a thing?
No. I made it up.
That's not the tour.
You don't want to look out the window? Please, will you join me for tea?
No, I just want to get out of here. This is awkward.
Guess we're gonna have to miss the jump scare then.
I follow Damien to his sitting room where finger foods have been already set out upon a beautiful tiered silver tray. I take a seat upon one of the high back chairs as Damien pours and serves me some tea. I can't believe we're having a high tea. I never thought I'd get to do this. Damien smiles to himself. What?
It's a common misconception that high tea refers to the wealth or class of the people enjoying it, when in fact the high refers to the sheer amount of cannabis they partake of before they take the tea.
Nice.
The high refers to both the later time of day that the working class had to enjoy tea, and the height of the tables on which they were served.
Oh.
My dear friend, we're currently enjoying afternoon tea.
The proper noun.
That's informative.
Yes.
Damien takes a seat next to me and serves me a tiny sandwich. I like your cape.
It's a cloak, actually, but thank you. Victorian fashion is very important to me.
You pulled off quite well.
No, that's not all I could pull off
Yeah.
well. Oh, thank you. Regardless of my... You could cut it with a knife. Regardless of my historical leanings, it's very important for me to present myself well. It has taken a long time to come up with a style that's both true to form and representative of myself, but I'm very happy with how I dress, and I've had no complaints about how I undress. I do get some strange looks, yes, but it's something that brings me a great deal of joy, so I don't mind. To be able to wake up in the morning, pick from my closet a variety of cloaks, waistcoats, top hats, and even binders that are period appropriate feels amazing. Binders?
Where
You know, they have the what should we
Is-
call them?
Is Damien trans?
I have no idea. Maybe.
Huh.
corsets. That's what I was trying to think of.
You ever wear top hats?
You don't?
Not for lack of trying.
What got you so interested in goth stuff?
We technically call it guff. Well, when I was a young boy, my father...
Did he take you into the city?
Uh,
I
sorry?
Did you guys see a marching band?
What the
I'm afraid I don't understand. Is this one of those dad jokes I've heard about?
You're serious?
Of course. I'm as serious as a tomb.
But it's, you know, the song. Amanda made me listen to it. Seriously?
I'd love to see a marching band.
Actual himbo? Question mark.
Nevertheless, I've always had a love for art, history, and fashion. What started off as a small hobby of collecting taxidermied animals grew into sort of an obsession. I just love stuffing and preserving dead things. Speaking of which, would you like to see my father? It's a privilege to be able to
Sorry. That was a very interesting thing you just said there, Damien. Why not go all the way?
I like not dying when I catch a cold.
He takes a sip of tea.
I can acknowledge that there were many very terrible things about the Victorian era, and to try to live a life that strictly aligns with those ideals would be admittedly horrid. But I think it takes a critical mind to truly appreciate something to the fullest, to be cognizant of its flaws, and love it all the same. Tell me, Dada, do you have any hobbies?
Beating up penguins. Oh man, I do, but I don't know if I care about anything the way you care about this stuff.
Are you seriously like beating up those penguins?
I'd love to hear about your interests. Hearing someone talk about the things they're passionate about is intriguing and, quite honestly, rather attractive.
I like how this is basically you, Stoker.
I mean,
really
listen. Your character is basically you.
Yeah.
And this character is basically me. We're just playing ourselves here.
Yeah.
Slightly exaggerated.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Jonas Dates His Friends.
Well, no, this is why people think Stoker and I are a couple.
Yeah, we're a couple of kooks.
Hello.
Um,
When's your guys' wedding, by the way? I'd love to get an invitation.
wow, we're
I've
gonna.
got this whole script planned out.
October wedding. I do so love when the leaves die and fall from the trees. Please do tell me about your hobbies. Do they involve shortwave radio by any chance?
Damn it.
Oh,
I know Jonas
damn.
way too well.
Yeah. Well, you know, your face.
Out there.
Quick. Sound sophisticated.
Shortwave radio.
And I learned how to juggle once. Oh shit. Gravity is an interesting thing, and I believe that juggling is the pinnacle of humankind's interaction with the gravitational arts.
Interesting.
I
I was
started.
always more interested in jugulars than jugglers, but
I started out with scars, but now I can completely juggle balls. Juggling pins is currently out of my purview. Damien
Comfortably juggle balls, you say?
Damien looks at me quizzically, but shrugs it off. We finish our tea and finger sandwiches.
We finish our tea and finger sandwiches.
Yeah.
How's
Come,
sandwiches doing?
I have one more thing to show you.
Damien takes me around to the back of his home where a variety of flowers flourish and beautifully landscape rows. A small stone path weaves through it, and butterflies flit lazily through the air.
This is quite nice, actually.
Yeah.
My garden.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. I find that corpses make the best fertilizer.
Yeah.
You see, Victorians took flowers and floral arrangements very seriously. You see, it was considered uncouth to discuss personal and romantic relationships in public. So lovers and friends with benefits and its complicateds all alike would use bouquets to send secret messages to each other. Messages like DTF question mark? Each flower and plant is symbolic of different feelings. Over there is the railing rose. Even more interesting is that one flower could mean different things depending on the other plants it was paired with. One had to be extremely careful, as even the style in which the ribbon was tied around the bouquet affected the message. This, of course, was before things were simplified with the hanky code.
Damien leans down and plucks a gorgeous bright orange flower off of a vine.
Lilium bulbiferum, the orange lily. What do you think this one means?
I don't know how much of this is improv and how much of this is actual dialogue.
You know, I'm not sure if any of these are what you would call quite legit.
My loins are ablaze.
Oh no!
The orange lily is actually symbolic of pure hatred.
Why would you pluck that and show it to me? I'm concerned now.
I just wanted to convey my feelings towards you, you contemptible little muffin, you.
Well.
Take me home.
And that's precisely why floral arrangement is so challenging. You really don't want to mix up the booty call bouquet with the... Oh, what's a good alliterative thing?
With the
Haberdashery.
with the gay innuendo. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. I don't know.
And that's precisely why, etc. What's your favorite type of flower? Don't say garlic.
Nightshade.
That'd get him.
What should I pick?
Well, honeysuckle's kind of poisonous. He might be into that. Snapdragons is just a fun name. Sunflowers are just tasty.
That's true. Sunflowers are
I
pretty
suspect sunflowers will be his least favorite response.
good. Yeah, I think you're right. Let's go with honeysuckle. They smell really good. They do smell really good.
I love honeysuckle. That's one of my favorite flowers.
Yeah. Right?
Yes! Dada knows what I'm all about. Woo!
And then you can
I
eat.
remember doing that.
I've never eaten from honeysuckle, but they do smell nice. And then you can eat the tiniest little drop of nectar when you pull the stem out.
A couple years I've made honeysuckle simple syrup,
Oh,
and one of these years I want to make honeysuckle mead.
that's awesome.
Yeah!
Sure, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll have to remember that when I put together a bouquet for you.
Okay, I'm officially in love with Damien if he can make a really cool floral arrangement with honeysuckle. That's awesome.
He would put together a bouquet for me? No one's ever given me a bouquet before.
He didn't say the occasion. It's probably for your funeral.
I follow Damien down the footpath and admire some more of his beautiful flowers. Suddenly, a phone rings.
Oh, da-da, will you excuse me? I must take this. It's my hitman, you know.
Yeah. He pulls a cell phone out of his pocket. I'm a little surprised it's not a rotary cell phone. Go for it. Damien smiles and walks back to the house. I take a deep breath and enjoy the heavily perfumed air. What a lovely yard. This makes me wish I had put a...
I was gonna say it is extremely nice. Go on, Jonas.
This makes me wish I had put a little more effort into that garden Amanda and I tried to start one time. Our watermelons grew the size of cherry tomatoes and then immediately died. Oh, hey. A gargoyle. Oh, no. I knocked over the gargoyle. Jeez.
Oh
Rip.
Oh no, Damon's
Oh, mini game time.
Oh, my God.
Fix that garg.
What the... No. Stop it.
That's the head. That's
The
the
shrine of the silver monkey.
Is...
Oh,
gargoyle,
no.
but yeah.
That's the middle. That's the middle.
Shit.
Oh, you
That's the
almost
head,
got it.
that's the
Okay,
head.
That's the head.
No. Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah,
gotta
that's
have it
good. That's
rotated.
good. Rotate it.
There,
There we
there,
go.
Good.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then
That
this
one.
one.
Yeah.
Hurry up
yeah,
before
yeah.
the temple guard gets you.
A, B. Legendary.
Whoa!
Oh yeah.
You
Nice.
would have
Wow.
passed the silver monkey puzzle.
Wait, did I have glue? Did I have stone glue in my pocket? What the...
Don't you
Probably.
always?
Don't question it.
Aren't you, Dad?
I mean, did I epoxy it? Anyway, whew, that was a close one. Uh-oh, here comes Damien. He looks upset.
Da-da, my sincerest apologies to have kept you waiting. There's an urgent matter I must attend to, so I'm afraid I must take my leave. By the way, do you like these gargoyles? They're priceless family heirlooms. I would fly into such a murderous rage if anyone so much as scratched one of them.
Take me out of here. I need to go.
No problem, dude. Everything all right? Damien worries the hem of his coat with his fingers and looks away.
Everything is perfectly fine, but it's Lucian.
What's wrong?
He appears to have, well, his teacher needs me to come to the school post-haste.
Do you need help?
He's been hanging out with those Van Helsing boys again.
Oh, no, you don't have to.
Well, let me come with you. Us dads got to stick together.
You're right. This is one of Lucian's more elaborate stunts. I would greatly treasure having another parent by my side.
Let's go.
To the horse and carriage.
Damien and I walk into the school and are immediately greeted by an anxious-looking Hugo.
Hello, sweetie. Anyway, your son is possessed.
I know that, but what's wrong with him?
Hey, Damien. You're here on record time.
I wouldn't miss it for the world, dear friend.
Hugo's been seeing Damien behind your back.
That slut.
Wow. Whatever it is, it doesn't seem like this is Hugo and Damien's first time to the My Kids Are in Trouble rodeo.
What is it this time?
This, Damien, you'll have to see to believe.
Oh, I can't wait.
Damien and I fall into step behind Hugo, who leads us to the busy quarters of the school. We pass by several classes in session, and I vaguely wonder if Amanda's around. Hugo eventually ushers us into a small boiler room with a flight of rickety stairs leading down into darkness.
Ooh, I love the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Watch your step.
I can hear faint voices drifting up from the basement, and they don't sound happy. As I'm led into the depths of the school, I recall the antics I got into as an angsty middle schooler. At least I had enough sense to stay out of creepy basements.
I didn't.
We find another teacher in a boiler room tucked in the way in the back of the basement. With him are Lucian and Ernest, Hugo's son. Lucian has a bloody nose.
Yeah, just look at all that blood, man.
Yeah. Oh.
All right, who's teacher the teacher?
I'll be teacher. Oh, thanks for coming. I can't make heads or tails of this. I look around the scene of the crime and see a bunch of bricks and some masonry tools scattered around. They're Freemasons.
Hang on a second. Did we interrupt a cask of Amontillado scenario?
Nice.
Not maybe?
I mean, you know, students will do that. You know, seal each other away and inside, you know, entomb them in bricks. Just teenage stuff.
What happened here?
Ernest,
All right,
hunt
that's right.
me.
Go
Oh, that's
ahead.
right. You were Lucian, weren't you?
I was, but okay, who wants to be Lucian, and who wants to be Ernest's kid?
I'm down for Ernest.
All right, I'll stick with Lucian.
Actually, could I also try Lucian?
You know what? By all means, be my guest.
Ernest punched me.
Lucian tried to kill me.
I love this.
The room falls silent.
I was not trying to kill you, dumbass. I was just trying to build a brick wall around you and see what would happen.
God, you actually called it.
Yep.
You promised me there was wine down there. You tricked me.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Whoa. Wait a second. Lucian, did you try to cask out Mountain Yellow Artist? You didn't fucking call it.
Amazing. Amazing.
I'm neither confirming nor denying that.
I turned to Damien and whispered to him, What's Cask of Amontillado?
It's a classic Edgar Allan Poe short story, misspelled Allen, by the way. You thought I wouldn't notice, but I did. Where a man gets his enemy drunk, lures him down to a cellar with the promise of wine of a fine vintage, then buries him alive behind a brick wall, and gets away with it, scot-free. It's a lovely story.
So, wait, Lucian, you tried to do that to him?
I was curious to see how it would turn out. I wasn't actually going to leave him there.
What was the thought process here? That Ernest was just going to sit still while you slowly built a tomb around him?
Well, it worked for like 20 minutes because he's like an idiot. But then he realized that I had lied about the wine.
And you were cackling maniacally. That sort of tipped me off.
He gets that from his dear departed mother.
Ernest, 20 minutes?
Dad.
It took you 20 minutes, son. We just did an entire 2 weeks unit of the Cask of Amontillado here, and it took you 20 minutes to realize Lucina was leading you into an elaborate ruse. Did you even read the story?
Priorities?
I mean, if his son's gonna get murdered, then at least he needs to be cognizant of the literary importance of getting murdered.
Look, I read the first 5 pages and then read a review of the movie.
Yay, but which version of the movie? There have been several adaptations in different anthologies and short stories, and they vary wildly in quality. I was always particularly fond of the one where Peter Lorre played Montresor, and Vincent Price was Fortunato, and they did a sort of fusion between the Black Cat and the Cask of Amontillado. It was very well done, rather amusing. Oh, sorry, I'm getting off topic.
It's only 5 pages long, and there's no movie.
Well, I mean, no movie fully devoted just to that one story, but it was part of Trilogy of Terror, which, as I mentioned, did have Vincent Price, Basil Rathbone, and Peter Lorre in the same movie.
Oh my god.
Focusing on the important things,
Haha, you're right. I paid Lucian to read it for me. Actually, he didn't even pay me. So when you think about it, this was me teaching him a lesson.
Yeah, good save. Damien and Hugo both have their heads in their hands.
You guys are always telling me to engage in the literature, and I did. I don't see a problem here.
All right, I'm finally this under what the hell. Don't do whatever that was again. You two are both suspended for a week. Ernest and Lucian high five.
Hell yeah!
The teacher starts to stomp up the stairs. Hugo, I'll cover your class. Take your son home. Mr. Bloodmarsh, you too.
Thank you for your mediation.
We all head up the stairs and out of the school in tense silence. Lucy and Damien and I'll pile into my car and begin the drive home. Lucian immediately puts his hood up and stares out the window angrily.
I'm not going to therapy again.
I know, son. It's entirely up to you whether or not you want to go. But I care about you, and I can see that you're struggling. So if you do decide that you would like to speak to a professional about your feelings, we can do that too. Maybe you can spend this next week looking for a for a summer job. I know how much you want your own car.
I can't believe Damien's keeping his cool. I'm impressed.
Fine. Thanks for not freaking out too hard.
Oh, son, don't worry about it. Just remember, next time you think about doing this, don't get caught. I love you, son.
You have a very weird way of saying I love you, Father.
Lucian continues staring out of the window.
Love you too.
Oh, it's a Kodak moment.
I won't get caught again.
We simply must stop and pose for a daguerreotype.
We spend the
Just
rest.
when I thought it could get weirder.
We spend the rest of the drive in relative silence. The moment we pull into the driveway, Lucian hops out of the car, slams the door, and runs inside.
I'm
I didn't expect to have that conversation in front of you. He and I have a lot we need to work out.
It's all right. In all things considered, Lucian's bricklaying was pretty good. So there's your silver lining.
There is that, yes. Maybe you could get a construction job.
I really admire how you handled that. Yeah, butter him up. You were a lot more diplomatic with him than I would have been.
I just want what's best for him, and I don't think yelling at him would do either of us any favors.
It rarely does. You're a good dad. See you around.
Oh, eggplants and hearts.
gay question mark.
See you around soon.
It would be my honor and my pleasure.
That was delightful.
Damien bows with a flourish. Classy. I come home to find Amanda curled up on the couch with a blanket watching TV. I plop down next to her.
I forgot that was the voice you were giving Amanda. Fuck.
I was waiting for it with bated breath.
What you watching?
Sons and Brothers Extreme Edition.
Ugh, I hate this show. The couple on-screen bickers back and forth.
It's easy for you to say.
Yeah. Bear goes back and forth while standing in an extremely small house made out of recycled bottles. The tiny house-hunting brothers watch them with amused expressions, both of their heads touching the low ceiling. I told you what please.
I told you I wanted a 2-bed, 2-bath, shabby chic cottage. This house doesn't even have a bathroom.
But honey, I don't know what I'm doing this place. But honey, the outhouse is only 20 yards away. It's not that bad.
I'm not going outside, Greg.
Why don't they just get a regular-sized house?
I don't. Oh, sorry about that. I had that stuck in my throat all day. How'd afternoon tea go?
It got strange. We had to go to the school to pick up Lucian since he tried to...
He lured Ernest down to the cellar with the promise of a fine vintage and then tried to break him into a wall, right?
Did Amanda tell him to do that?
How did you know that? Has everyone read the story except for me?
Lucian live streamed the entire thing.
Wow.
What a lad.
This entire day is beyond me. But otherwise, it was a fun day. That naming guy's a character, but he's really good company, and a surprisingly diplomatic dad.
Dad-plomatic.
Yeah.
I dig his style.
You know what? Me too.
And surprising no one, the one that you have the best chemistry with so far is me. There's a bad score!
Let's see. Wait for the tab.
Have you considered taking
Oh, you have a tie.
Yeah, no, we're tied. And technically, when you look at the parameters were higher with Hugo. Anyway, what do you think?
Dan's mustache.
What do you think Lucian wound up titling his live stream?
Jonas plays Dream Daddy.
Yeah. I was going to say there's a pun in there somewhere, but I can't think of it. All right.
Who is the mysterious DB?
Dat booty.
Dad, I listened to you. This is you from the past. Whoa, how'd this happen? I figure you're trying to reply to this because I know myself, but this is an automated message from you earlier this morning when it was socially unacceptable to go out and buy ice cream. I forgot it. I forgot I did that. I forgot how I did that as well. The future is amazing. Listen, life is short and ice cream should always be acceptable, but unfortunately this isn't the society we live in. And it's less the society we live in and more me projecting my own anxiety without being judged onto others, but you know what I mean. By the time you're reading this, it is a certain time of day in which nobody will bat an eye for you for going out and buying ice cream. You know what to do. Be good, me. Fine. Buy the ice cream. You know what? I've earned a treat. On the way home, I decided to stop off and grab some ice cream, which I fully plan to eat directly from the tub. I spend a lot of time trying to figure out just which type of ice cream I'd like to eat directly from the tub. Rocky Road, pistachio. I love pistachio. Oh, Amanda's...
Pistachio is so good.
Isn't that right? Amanda's probably going to want some, too. Better get 2 tubs. She loves cookie dough ice cream, right?
Don't ask us. Uh-oh, who's this mysterious new character?
Hey, mister.
Oh.
Oh, no, it's not a new character at all.
Buy me some booze.
I turn around to see Ernest leaning up against the wall of the convenience store. Ernest?
You're cool, right?
I'm so cool. I'm shocked you even have to ask, Dude Meister.
Oh my god, I asked the wrong person. Could you just help me out?
Help you out. There's no fire involved, is there?
Just clouds. So if I give you $20, will you buy me e-liquid?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're not an owner for that, Ernest. Ernest, what's e-liquid?
It's like, Gatorade. You know, electrolyte liquid. I'd get it myself, but I'm banned from here for trying to run a grift on the cashier.
A classic fiddle game. You know the deal.
Do we know the deal?
Oh, if if you're talking about balanced electrolytes, then I got you, little buddy. And I didn't know you played the fiddle.
Just ask the clerk for blue Cranradzapple Vortex. He'll know what it is.
I pick a tub of pistachio ice cream for myself and a tub of cookie dough for Amanda. I search around for some blue Crazen Void Stirrer, but I can't seem to find any. I turn to the cashier. Ha, say, where's your finest e-liquid?
No, don't do it.
Behind the counter. You got an ID?
Patrick Warburton!
Look, it's not easy. You know, I can't just work as a, bar tab guy. You know, I got multiple jobs. I've got a family to feed, too. But you don't see me as a star at Dream Daddy.
Aw.
It's a damn shame.
It's because I'm not single.
First of all, well, neither's Joseph. First of all, my daughter is older than you. Second of all, I'm flattered. I switched shampoo recently. Is that taking some years off?
Look, you need to be 21 to buy vape juice. Your hair doesn't look a day over 20. Oh!
Wait a minute. Are you just trying to butter me up to get me to buy more ice cream? Because it's working. I glance outside and spot Ernest staring at me. Double, wait a minute. So you're telling me that e-liquid is not a sports drink?
It's for vaping.
Ernest is watching us intently through the window. I better go give that kid a piece of my mind.
Dada knows what vaping is?
I see.
He does now.
You're telling me Data doesn't know what vaping is?
Oh, all right. Look, I'm gonna pretend. I'm gonna pretend that you did. I'm gonna pretend that you didn't try to trick me into buying you the old Baphomet's cough syrup, and then go inside here to purchase my ice cream. I won't tell your dad if you promise to scram and stop vaping. You'll get popcorn lawn.
What if I give you $25?
Go home, Ernest. As I'm walking back inside, Ernest calls after me.
You can get popcorn lug from microwave popcorn, you know.
I no longer trust this child, but the mere notion strikes fear into my heart. I go back inside to complete my purchase with the good cashier. Thank you, kind sir, for your time and generous hair compliments. I like to imagine that the inside of the store is just pitch black. That's why we don't see him.
You got it, bub. And by the way, sorry about the lights. They said it was either my paychecks or the lights for this store.
I glance out the window while to see Ernest still outside. Looks like he's talking to some other poor sap. Guess I should go outside and save this other guy some grief. Wait a second. That's definitely a cop. Oh, boy. I grab my tubs of ice cream and bolt outside. Ernest is already face down on the hood of a squad car. Ernest, did you seriously just try to get a cop to buy you e-liquid? Oh, we need a cop.
Sir, do you know this kid?
I'm friends with his dad. Yeah, we live in the same cul-de-sac. I know his dad. Listen, he's a good kid, and
I'm this boy's father.
I hate it already.
oh no, it's,
my God.
it's Robert.
Oh god.
Do you like my new voice?
Wow.
He says, pulling away from a vape pen.
I turn around and see Robert walking up the street and toward the convenience store.
That's what the Baphomet's lung does to you.
Popcorn lung.
Ernest, what are you doing?
Ernest?
Ernst?
I want a lawyer.
I am a lawyer. First of all,
Good instinct. Good first instinct, rather. Remember that you're not required to answer any questions from a police officer without a lawyer present.
God.
You're this boy's father?
Yes, sir. Ernest likes to lash out at me like this ever since the accident.
Oh.
I don't like talking about it. Just kidding. I love talking about it. There was blood everywhere.
That's fine.
Robert gets a wistful twinkle in his eye. Yeah, he's super wistful.
It all started 7 summers ago. My hair was long then. New metal was still in style. Ernest and I were down in the Florida swampland, scavenging for
Sir, I can leave you to take it from here.
Sounds good. Thanks, officer. Ernest, come along now. You'll be cleaning grout from the rain gutter for a week thanks to this transgression.
The police officer gets in his car and drives off. I'm stunned by how cool Robert was just there.
Thanks. I want to say, Richard.
Ouch.
Don't mention it, Hemingway. Got in trouble plenty of times in my life just trying to do my good deed for the day. Wait, I really messed up the pacing on that. Oh well.
Regardless of the pacing, will you buy me e-liquid if I give you $20?
Child, I will end you.
Hey, Dada, will you walk Ernest home with me?
Sure. Ernest runs ahead, presumably so he won't be seen with us, which is a thing I think kids do.
He reminds me a lot of myself when I was his age. Of course, that could be because I'm him from the future, but...
Oh, no. Oh.
Well, maybe I wasn't as dumb. Maybe.
Seems like he tortures his dad.
Seems like he tortures just about everybody. He even stole your wallet.
What? No, he did. I pat my back pocket. I pat the rest of my pockets. He stole my wallet.
Why are you doing this to yourself?
Hey, what? Robert points at my tubs of ice cream. One of them's for Amanda.
I have no qualms with the quantity of ice cream you've purchased, which is definitely a sentence that I say on a regular basis.
Oui, don't you know?
It's a perfectly respectable amount of ice cream. It's the quality I'm talking about.
What is he?
You work hard, Dada. You're a good dad. Don't you think you deserve top shelf ice cream? None of this store brand crap.
Does he work? We haven't really established that yet.
I mean, look at him. He's clearly an ice cream truck driver type. I mean, look at him.
No, Dada, not Robert.
Children, come get ice cream.
But these are on sale.
If you're gonna treat yourself, go big or go home. Real vanilla bean, real pistachio. You deserve it.
I mean, he ain't wrong there. If you're gonna get vanilla bean ice cream, you do want to get the one that doesn't have the high fructose corn syrup. You gotta go with quality for vanilla bean ice cream.
We arrive at the cul-de-sac and Ernest runs into his home.
That boy is the reason why we don't have prizes in cereal anymore. I don't even understand what I just said, and I'm me. Catch you around, Dada.
Dada.
That's what I said, Dada.
Robert tosses me my wallet. He stole my wallet. I catch it with a surprised look on my face.
I stole it back. Keep it in your front pocket or use a chain like back in your ska days.
Oh!
Yeah, you thought I didn't know about it, didn't you? Ha! Smell you later.
The dads
Oh,
talk.
you later? Was he a member of Team Rocket?
See you, Robert. I go back inside my home, ready to spend the rest of the night with 2 tubs of ice cream milk. So, Amanda.
Welcome. You've got dads.
Oh, it's Craig.
Fortunately, it's treatable.
All right. Hey, buddy. So
Why all the Craig hate?
I don't like Craig. I don't know why. It just doesn't appeal to me.
Is it because
You
he
know who,
reminds you of your own need to exercise?
You know what? You know what? You know what? Save face.
Hey, do you know which one my favorite is?
Which one, Stoker?
Hugo, right?
Yeah, totally nailed it.
Anyway.
I am helping.
I think this is probably a good place to do a save because we are just about the 2-hour mark, and we have another stream, Stoker and I. Well, I don't know if Stoker's going, but I'm going to be popping into Rick's stream.
I might show up, but you know, this game for some reason has left me with a craving for ice cream. So
nice.
I feel that. I feel that.
Anyway, this has been a lot of fun as always. My dudes and dudettes. I think we learned a lot. We beat up some penguins. We stuck our hands.
I prefer dadettes.
Dads and dadettes.
Jonas and the dadettes.
Jonas and the daddy-ettes.
Jonas and dadettes.
Oh,
Nice.
it works perfectly. I love it.
I don't know any of you. You're all nuts. Yeah. No.
Collective disownment.
Yeah. All right, folks.
over in the chat, Ty's like, "Daddy, are you leaving us? You say you're only going for milk. Will you come back, Daddy?"
Oh my God. Yeah. Going for a pack of smokes. Okay. All right. Good night, everybody. Take care.
Good night. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, bye.
Hey, good night, everybody.
See y'all next time.
Brush your teeth, stay in school, and wear a wallet chain.
Yeah. Okay.
Trust your instincts.
Don't buy children blue crays and void starers.
Unless you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.